In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use n8n, SERP API, and ElevenLabs to make a voice-powered personalized travel agent. Let's go ahead and see how it works.
Hello, welcome to Shab Travels. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'm looking to book a flight.
Okay, I can help with that. To start, where will you be flying from?
I'm flying from New York JFK, and I want to go to London Heathrow.
New York to London, got it? What date would you like to leave?
Let's do July 17th and look at a return for August 1st, please.
Okay, so that's departing July 17th and returning August 1st. How many adults will be traveling?
There's 2 adults.
Okay, and will there be any children or infants coming with you?
Nope.
Got it, just 2 adults. Are you also looking for a hotel in London?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Finally, could I get your email address so I can send you the travel options? Please spell it out for me to avoid any mistakes.
Sure, it's SHABBIR at SHABBIRNOOR.com.
Perfect, thank you. I'm putting together the information required and I'll send an email with the proposal shortly. Have a great day.
So once that conversation is done, the ElevenLabs agent is searching for information from SERP API, getting flight information, getting hotel information, and it has also sent an email. So let's pop over to the email inbox and see what options it has for me. All right, perfect. So travel plan, New York to London. We have some flight options. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty expensive, actually. And we also have some hotel options as well. Perfect. So let's go ahead and see how we can build this. So the first thing you need to do is pop over to serpapi.com. SERP API gives you programmatic access to nearly all of Google's services. It's incredible, and the free version gives you 100 searches per month. So if you're just building this for personal use, 100 searches per month should be more than enough. So we're going to need the Google Hotels API, and we also need the Google Flights API as well. So once you've signed up on SERP API, you are going to need to go into your account, grab your API key, and then let's head over to n8n and see how this workflow functions. I can see there's a bit of a spelling mistake. Let me just go ahead and correct that. Okay, so I've built 2 versions of this workflow. The first one is for testing, which uses the chat trigger. And the other one is for production, which uses the ElevenLabs webhook trigger. Let me walk you through how the chat version works, and then I'll show you the changes that I had to make in order to get the ElevenLabs version to work. And before we dive in, if you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a like. And do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content. And if you're interested in hiring me to build AI automations for your business or for your professional practice, just go ahead and book a call using the calendar link below, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So let's get started. I have a chat trigger over here, which goes into a chat agent. This is just a regular AI agent node on in n8n. So here is the system message that I have. You are a travel assistant. Converse as if you were working in a travel agency and attending to customers. Your job is to find flights and or hotels. And I'm just giving you the list of all of the details that that are required or that would potentially be required to find the flights. So we have the number of passengers, departure city, arrival city, travel date, return date, check-in date, checkout date, etc. Once the user finalizes all the details, use the Find Flights and Find Hotels tool, which I'm going to show you now, to get that information, and then use the Send Email tool to fire off a travel plan, right? For now, I'm giving instructions not to output any travel details directly. It should only do that through the email tool. In order to talk to SERP API, we need to make an HTTP request, and instead of like a regular API call where you have all of where you're sending all of the data in the body, with SERP API, all of the data goes as parameters in the URL itself. I'm also giving it the URL structure to use. I actually tried putting this URL structure in the HTTP tool, but for some reason that was giving me an error. And I found that giving the URL structure to the agent actually makes things a lot easier. So this is for flights. You have the API key. We're using the Google Flights engine. The departure ID and the arrival ID are the airport codes. And I've just given it variables over here so that the AI understands that it has to replace these. We also have an outbound date, a return date, currency, and the number of adults. I'm also giving it a list of more parameters that it can additionally use if there are more filters required. All of that is up here. And this is the URL for hotels, right? And we also have parameters for the hotel as well. And I've gotten all of this information from the Google Hotels API and the Google Flights API. And I would encourage you to dig into the documentation and use this documentation to kind of construct your own customized URLs as well. Let's go back in here. Once you have all the data, output everything formatted with HTML as a travel plan with beautified divs. The output should start with doc type, H2 for headings, H3 for travel options, and links where required. And then use the send email tool to fire off the travel plan. Ask for name and email if not already provided. So that's the prompt. In the chat version, it also needs a window buffer memory because there's going to be a bit of back and forth in case the user doesn't provide all of the information in the first go. And then we have three tools. So we have the get flight information tool, the get hotel information tool, which are just HTTP requests. And then we have the Gmail send message tool. So the flight information tool is basically we're just providing a variable URL, and the AI agent is going to replace this with the URL that it constructs. There's no authentication, no queries, no headers, no body, because everything is in the URL itself. And here is we have to define that placeholder below, which is this over here. I'm just giving it a definition. So it's URL. This is the API call URL, and you don't need to specify a type. That's it. As for the hotel request, it's the exact same thing, except we're just modifying the description to say get flight information get hotel information instead of get flight information. And we also have a Gmail tool, which the to is defined automatically because as for the email address, subject is also defined automatically, and the message body is also defined automatically. Perfect. So that's how the workflow is designed if you're using the chat input. Now, if you're using ElevenLabs, there's actually two ways to do this. I've implemented the simpler one because it takes fewer API calls. So I'll walk you through that, and then towards the end of the video, I'll explain how you could make this even more dynamic and even more lifelike. So fundamentally, the workflow is the same, except that we are immediately passing all of the variables into the AI agent. And the AI agent is just doing all of that work, and it's completing the workflow all in one go. Whereas with the chat agent, there might have been some back and forth going on. So the webhook, and I'll show you how I've set everything up in ElevenLabs as well. The webhook grabs all of the data from the conversation and it feeds it to the ElevenLabs agent. And the source for the prompt is the body of the webhook. And you'll see that the body contains all of these variables. The system message is pretty much the same, except I've trimmed off some of the extra conversational instructions because all of the conversational instructions are now in ElevenLabs. Everything else is pretty much the same. The HTTP requests are the same, the Gmail tool is the same, and the AI model is also the same. So now let me dig into ElevenLabs and show you how I have set up this agent. So we're in conversational AI, you go to agents, and then under agent, just choose whatever language there is, give it a first message, and here is the system prompt. So it's fairly detailed. Customers will call you, and your job is to get information regarding all of this. And remember, if there's no year provided, we're telling you to assume that it's the current year. And we need all of this information. There's some conversational instructions as well. And I've also given it some example conversation flows, and I generated these using ChatGPT. So the more examples that you give the voice agent, the better the conversational flow actually turns out to be. And the flows have different variations. So you have just one adult with a one-way trip. There's also two adults with a round trip. There's a full family round trip with hotel, and this covers most of the permutations that you would expect for a travel agent. And finally, it has to trigger the webhook, which is called customer data. And these are just all examples, right? And there's also an edge case where the customer breaks the flow after a partial input. And if the input is complete enough, it'll just use what it has and send a travel plan accordingly. So you can choose whichever AI provider that you want to use. There's a cost associated with each one. And at the end, you need to enable a few tools. So the first tool is the end call, which is enabled by default, where the AI agent can end the call once everything is done. And there's also a custom tool that we need to create. So if you click the add tool button, you'll be taken to an option like this. You need to give the tool a name, which is customer data, give it a description, data from the trip sent to the server. So to get this URL, and we're going to be using the post method, go back into n8n, and in your webhook, make sure that the HTTP method is post, and just go ahead and click over here, and that's going to copy the webhook URL. This is for test mode. If you're going to make this live, then make sure you're using the production URL instead of the test URL. But since we're just testing for now, click, copy, come back in here and paste this over here. Perfect. We also need to send some body parameters, right? And the body parameters will define, what parts of the conversation the AI is going to extract and send to the webhook. So we're going to give it a description, get customer information from the call, and we need to manually define all of these properties. So we have a number data type, and which is adults, number of adults, description, number of adults, departure city, which is a string, return date, infants in seat, departure date, children, hotel, or not, which is a Boolean, arrival city, email, infants in lab. And these are the data points that we need. And you can add more properties as you see fit. But for a basic travel agent, just these properties should be more than enough. So what this tool essentially does is it's going to look at the transcript of the call once it's complete, and try to pull all of these variables out of that conversation. And once it finds those variables, it's going to send it to this webhook. And if you go back into n8n, we'll see that the output that it received does indeed contain those variables, which it is sending over here. And those are then passed into the agent, which processes everything and generates the flight plan for you. Now, as promised, if you want to make this more complex, what you would do is you could add a respond to webhook node over here, and then you can go back into ElevenLabs, and then you can customize the tools. So for now, it's just a single tool which fires after the conversation is complete. But let's say the customer wants to hear flight options directly from the agent. So you could add a tool called Get Flight Options, where we're sending all of that data to the webhook, and then you'd modify the prompt to actually return the flight options to that webhook, right? And then that ElevenLabs would then receive those flight options, and instead of you just getting an email with a list of the options, the voice agent would actually reply to you with those options. And that in that case, it would look and feel a lot more like you're talking to a real person and a real travel agent instead of just like a voice agent as we're doing right now. But really, the disadvantage of that is that one phone call can result in, depleting a lot of your SERP API credits. So if you were building this for a travel agency, then you would need to implement something like this, where the customer can do back and forth multiple times, and you'd also need to give the agent some memory to remember, what's already been spoken about. And if you're just building this for yourself as like a personal assistant, so in that case, then you should just use the original method and save some API credits while you're at it. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like. And do remember to subscribe to the channel for more AI and automation content. And if you want a copy of this template to import into your own n8n, just go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to share it with you.